Respected dignitaries on the dais, our Executive Director, Mr. R.M.P. Jawahar, Director of Jnanam School of Business, Professor Dr. Sundar, respected faculty members, our enthusiastic participants who are present here, and those who are joining us through online, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of TrekStep, I extend a very warm welcome to you all for the inauguration of the Capacity Development Program for the civil society organizations. This program is organized as part of the European Union supported project of TrekStep, Gender Enabling Network of Innovation and Entrepreneurship Civil Society Organizations for Climate Venture. The role of CSOs in a society is very important as they are special organizations that can provide great reach and last mile connectivity for any development initiative in the country. The CSOs, being close to the ground realities, are vital and well positioned in supporting and handholding the aspiring women in effectively surmounting the societal and cultural barriers for realizing their entrepreneurship dreams. Without CSOs, active participation in women entrepreneurship promotion will remain hugely challenged. Our Genie project aims to systematically identify and address the challenges and capacity gaps of women-focused CSOs to productively engage them in social enterprise promotion in climate change areas through specifically designed capacity development actions, incubation support, ICT tools, and other essential business incubation supports. Hence, this project is an important initiative launched a year back by TrekStep with the support of the European Union. We are glad to share that our project has already built a national network of 460 women-focused CSOs from 8 focus states of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Gujarat, UP, and West Bengal. This training program is the first in the series of the capacity development programs planned in this project. Today we have 50 CSO members here from Tamil Nadu, and 100 more CSO members are joining us through live streaming mode, and we are sure this will be a fruitful learning experience for all the participants. We are indeed fortunate to have in our midst the Honorary President of Asian Association of Business Incubation and Executive Director, TrekStep, Mr. R.M.P. Jawahar. He is one of the few experts who have immensely contributed to the business incubation promotion in the country from 1986. He has supported promotion of business incubators across the country and has also received the prestigious United Kingdom's Business Incubation Association's International Champion of Business Incubation Award in early 2006. He is fondly addressed as Pitamaha of business incubation in the country. At TrekStep, he is truly our great inspiration and mentor. We extend a very warm welcome to you, sir. We are delighted to have in our midst Director of the Jnanam School of Business, Dr. Sundar. He is from the first batch of alumnus and former Associate Professor of Bharatdasan Institute of Management, Trichy. He has more than 3 decades of teaching and industry experience. He has designed, developed, and executed training programs in the strategic and functional levels in top organizations such as Ashok Leyland, BHEL, Indian Railways, and other departments of government. He is closely associated with TrekStep for over 2 decades now. He has provided new venture management training for 100 entrepreneurs for the World Bank project of ours. TrekStep extends a very warm welcome to you, sir. I extend a warm welcome to our faculty members who will join later, Dr. V.P. Sriram, Associate Professor, Bharadasan Institute, and Dr. T.R. Subramaniam, Adjunct Faculty from BIM. I extend a warm welcome to our Senior Manager TrekStep, Mr. R.M. Tyagarajan, an enthusiastic and energetic team leader of TrekStep. Welcome, sir. My welcome address would indeed be incomplete if I do not extend a hearty welcome to the enthusiastic CSO participants. Welcome to you all. And finally, I also take this opportunity to heartily welcome my fellow colleagues and team members of TrekStep, whose efforts behind the scene has ensured this program goes well. Welcome to all the distinguished guests and invitees once again. Thank you.
We are privileged to have in our midst Director of the Jnanam School of Business, Dr. Sundar. He has an illustrious career, as mentioned by Madam, as an academician from the Bharatidasan Institute of Management, and now he is heading Jnanam School of Business as its director. A passionate academician and received many awards and accolades in his career. May we kindly request you, sir, to deliver this special.
Good morning, everybody. On behalf of Jnanam School of Business, it's my pleasure to welcome all the participants here today for this two-day workshop. We are very happy to have all of you here and look forward to the deliberations that we are having. My thanks also to Mr. R.M.P. Jawahar and his team from TrekStep for actually allowing us to associate with them in their program and participate in this very important part of capacity development program for all of you who have assembled here. As our management was looking for some kind of contribution to society as always, and we saw this as a way of leveraging our infrastructure and our resources to do something useful for society, and we are very happy to Mr. Jawahar for having accepted our proposal and allowing Jnanam School of Business to host all of you here for the next 2 days. And I wish all of you a good stay and a good learning and good interaction among yourselves also during these 2 days where this program is happening. So I'd like to speak a few words about what is happening in our country. And I remembered this famous quote of Winston Churchill at the end of Second World War. He is supposed to have said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." And once the war was over, Churchill flew over to America, and then a set of 50 global leaders joined there. And the United Nations organization was born in 1945, right after the backdrop of what was possibly one of the greatest wars in the world. So every crisis and a disruption, therefore, present considerable opportunities to all of us to strategize our future. Even in our country, there are clear signs of recovery now from the pandemic, and the lessons to learn from all of this are awaiting. We are all guilty of not challenging the norm and instead being within our comfort zones and following tradition and procedure. It takes a lot of courage to question ourselves, our own focus and our activities, and seek inputs on how to recreate a new future and a stronger future. I think all of you need to be appreciated for the interest that you are showing to come here, discuss with us, and look at how to take things forward against this backdrop. Times of crisis actually give us more latitude to question the status quo, cultivate a more open and questioning climate to review and recreate the future. In fact, this pandemic has given the NGOs and the CSOs in our country a very favorable outlook in terms of government understanding the kind of contributions that you are making to our society. In the very first week that India entered the lockdown in March 2020, the non-governmental organizations were requested to help the government by providing basic necessities to the underprivileged, by supplying medical and protective gear and assisting in campaigns on social distancing. no less a body than the Niti Aayog reached out to more than 90,000 CSOs in the first week of May itself of last year, seeking assistance to develop and deliver services to the poor as well as to the health and community workers. The Supreme Court has also praised and applauded the role played by CSOs in coming forward to help migrant workers by providing food, water, and transportation during the difficult time. So the services of NGOs and CSOs have been acknowledged widely in this country in this last 1 year, and that kind of changes the perception of what is the contribution of these organizations to society. Government has indeed understood today that it needs civil society, non-government, and community organizations to spearhead initiatives with their extensive reach and large volunteer base that you have developed over the years, and you're embedding yourselves in society. CSOs are able to bring about change and motivate people because you have cultivated a deep connect and relationship with your local communities where you're working. The voluntary sector, as we all know, bridges the gap between government and the population, provides support and services to the most untouched and marginalized areas in society. On this day, we have to acknowledge the services rendered in several areas such as education, health, poverty, women empowerment, child protection, human rights, social justice. Indeed, development experts always believe that it is crucial to understand that it cannot be possible for any government in this world to work alone and holistically address any of the national social problems that society is facing, and your support is required to implement and ensure that the needy and the last mile people are benefiting from your services and the products that you are offering to them. Let us therefore look at this time of crisis as a watershed for growth. Instead of fearing uncertainty, let us look at this as an opportunity to identify our own potential, cut our ropes from the past, and look forward to drawing on one's strengths and venturing into paths for the future. The objective is not to just come back to normalcy, but we need to create a whole new world for all of us. A fundamental transformation is already going on to live, to learn, and to earn due to the insurmountable impact of the pandemic. As the world awaits to get out of this global problem, let us become proactive and be ready for the changes ahead and plan our strategies for the growth. This capacity development program that we have planned and the series of programs that we have planned along with the consultation of Rexstep, I think will help you to prepare your minds to look at many unexpected opportunities and new ways of thinking for options and solutions for the problems all of you are facing today, and pave the way for recovery and to leap forward even as we are presented with an unpredictable future just now. In this note, I would like to encourage all of you to keep the participation and the interaction very high with the professors who are available. As ma'am said, two of my former colleagues from Bharatdasan Institute of Management, Professor Sri Raman and Professor T.R. Subramaniam, are here today, and they will be handling a session. Over these 2 days, over these several programs, we are looking at 7 areas in capacity building, which I will be presenting to you in the first session after this. But in these 2 days, our focus will be on 2 areas, strategy as well as finance. And we have bringing in one entrepreneur to come and talk to you, a good successful entrepreneur from Trichy, to just give you some ideas of what does the entrepreneur do, how does the idea get translated into a plan, how does the plan get executed, and what are the challenges he faced to make his business successful. And little later, I think we are planning even another series of programs on entrepreneurship. But this is what you can look forward to in your 2 days on our campus here. Once again, on behalf of GSB and our management, I welcome all of you to our campus for this 2-day capacity development program, and thank again TrekStep for being gracious to accept our proposals and to allow us to host this program on our campus. Welcome to GSP again. Thank you, one and all.
We are privileged to have in our midst our chief guest, Mr. R.M.P. Jawahar, Executive Director of our TrekStep. As Madam already pointed out, Mr. R.M.P. Jawahar sir has nearly 3 decades of incubation and innovation development experience. He is an acclaimed incubation expert, not only nationally, but also internationally. May we kindly request you, sir, to deliver the inaugural address.
In fact, I am very glad to see a lot of young faces as well as a lot of very senior people also here. And that's a very big challenge to talk to both very senior people who are experienced in this development area as well as to talk to youngsters who are very new is a huge challenge. And Bindu has given me only 20 minutes time. First of all, I am not the chief guest. I am the chief host here. But Sundar, as you know, Professor Sundar, he is my senior. He has always been my 35 years friend. And one of my, the same kind of attitudes, feelings we maintained for the last 35 years. And one thing is, he still looks very younger, but I look older. Don't get swayed by his youthful look, right? He is also as old as I am. But he's very young in spirit. In fact, one of the reasons why I am here is this is a very good institution, no doubt. I know the kind of facilities you can look around, the kind of maintenance, the kind of quality in everything. This institution physically reflects quality, and then Professor Sundar spiritually reflects the quality. Once Professor Sundar was there as director, I thought we had a lot of management institutions in Trichy. Our own alumnus, BIM was there, NIT has its own management school. But we preferred Jnanam Institute because Professor Sundar is there. And today I am doubly justified because the way in which he started his speech, I think sets the right tone. Today, not only the country, as a professional team, the CSOs are in a very big crisis. The CSOs are in a crisis which we have faced never before. But then, that is also a good opportunity. As Sundar beautifully started, let us never waste a crisis. We will use this crisis. We will use this crisis to change us. First, let us change us, then we will change the world. And that is the intent of this program. The program's intent is to provide opportunities for civil society organizations to reinvent themselves. That, I think, is what Professor Sundar said. And that is what we are trying to do. I am not saying that we will be successful, but we will make the most sincere attempt to change ourselves. We will survive and we will win. That is the kind of resolve that TrekStep has, this program has. What is the crisis of CSOs today? And all of us would say, the first instant, resources are not there. Second, we have the FCRA problem. We are not able to mobilize resources from across the world. We are constrained in generating resources. Neither do we have adequate resources available to us. But there's a huge demand in this country. There's a huge demand for development, especially for people at the bottom of the pyramid, people who are at the lower end of the society. We have huge need, but then we have very limited resources and our hands are tied. We are not able to resolve the resources internationally, globally. There are some constraints. So that is the big problem CSOs are facing. So we had a series of workshops on identifying what are the various problems CSOs face. In fact, we know that we are also a CSO. Jnanam Institute is a CSO. But we wanted to learn from you, the actual CSOs who work at the bottom of the pyramid. Even though TrekStep also works at the bottom of the pyramid, we cannot say that we really work for most vulnerable people. We are also work for institutions, management institutions, incubators, also take care of people at the cream of the society, at the top end of the society as well. But that doesn't mean that we are not looking at the bottom of the pyramid. In India, everyone who lives here, they'll have to face both ends of the society. They'll have to face the best of the society. They'll have to also face the scums of the society. Unfortunately, we'll have to deal with this. As soon as we come out of our houses, we'll have to face in the society the diverse ends. This is not a very developed country. This is a developing country. So we had a series of interactions with people like you. Many of you, I can see, Mandan is there. I could see many of the faces who have been part of this workshop. So we asked you repeatedly, what are the problems you are facing? You know what is the kind of answer we got? Sundar, you won't believe this. I know I have a lot of problems. I know day to day I'll have to earn money for running my organization, for meeting the demand, which is an unmeetable demand. The kind of demand we have in the society is so huge. It's not a country. It's a country of countries. It's a subcontinent. There are huge needs in the society, but we are not able to mobilize resources for that. We don't have resources for that. But you know what? Everybody thinks that NGOs, CSOs are money making and they are profit oriented. But you know that from the workshops, what I got, we found that the first problem that the CSOs themselves have told us is they are not able to reach out. Bindu remembers. Because I remember the interactions, the CSOs repeatedly said in these interactions that they are not able to reach out to the beneficiaries because of the COVID restrictions. That is the definition of a real CSO. You don't have anything, you are facing so many problems, but when you ask the problem, each of the CSOs, they are so professional. Many of the CSOs said, sir, we are not able to reach out. We don't have passes. Nobody is allowing us to go. So the first concern inside their heart is serving the society. But unfortunately in this country, NGOs are seen as money-making institution. They want to make profit. Yes, they want to make profit. Yes, they want to make resources. Why? Because they want to do their duty. They want to serve the society. They want to survive. They want to take care of a good team. They want to pay their employees. That is why they want to make money. So I thought of it, that was a revelation to me. None of the CSOs said other problems. Most of the CSOs said, reach out is the main problem. So that reflects the intent of the heart and spirit of CSOs in this country. The heart and spirit of the CSOs vibrates for the people it serves. That's the purpose it serves. I think that is where we align ourselves. That is where I think Jnanam Institute, TrekStep, and individually US civil society organizations come together and we align ourselves better. First of all, I'll also tell you, I'm very sorry to speak in English, which is not our native language. Our native language is Tamil. It's one of the oldest language and most beautiful language. As far as I know only 3-4 languages. But it is our oldest. It is the oldest language, not without a purpose. There's a purpose for why it is the oldest language. There is some richness, there is some unique thing in this language which makes it one of the oldest language. We are not using that language. We are using a language mainly because this is a blended program. This is a blended program in the sense this program is being conducted live for the fertility and richness, because in a live program, by interacting with you, by seeing your faces, by participating with you, the program can reflect the reality much better than an online program. But it is also an online program because we do not want to confine this program to this place only. We want to reach out to the wider world. We want to use the IT platform and reach to the rest of the world. We have 400 plus CSOs there, and whoever wants to connect to this program from other states will also get connected. That is why I am forced to speak in English, but I cannot restrict myself to English alone. And Sundar has clearly said, Tamillayum pesano. I said, yes, you can speak in Tamil, but at least translate, because some of the people might be listening from other states also. Already there are people from other states who are after Bindu asking them to run very similar programs. I don't know whether, even though I have all the assurances that Professor Sundar will deliver a very good program, but there is already demand from other states that they also want this kind of programs. So before going into some boring part of the, I don't know how much time I have left. Huh? Boring part of my lecture, let me tell you one thing which is very, very clear. I was talking to Bindu when we were coming the class, when they were coming the car. See, there is two things. It is basically a development program. What do we want to develop? What do we want to develop? We want to develop CSOs. But what do we mean by developing CSOs? We want to improve the efficiency of CSOs. How do we improve the efficiency of CSOs? First of all, we want to improve the efficiency of CSOs in whatever they do, in the implementation, in the execution, in doing things as per plan and meeting the standards, to follow the best practices in the trade. That is the implementation efficiency. We wanted to have implementation efficiency, and therefore we started this program. Then we also want them to have efficiency in design. Whatever they do, that should be efficient. Not only they should do the things most efficiently, they should also do efficient things. There are two things. One is efficiency in implementation, then efficiency in design. How do we do efficiency in design? We do efficiency in design by following strategic organizational innovation. You design new strategies for the organization. You design new organizational innovations. In organizational innovation, how do you innovate an organization? You innovate an organization by following a new strategy. You make the organization implementation effectiveness by following the best practices in the trade. But there are so many things. It cannot be done in one program. It requires a lot of efforts from your side. It requires some management institutions like Jnanam Institute and professors like Professor Sundar and the team of faculty we are employing here to work with you to bring you the best in the industry from many areas. It may be from production. It may be from, let us say, human resources. It can be from financial management. It can be from many areas. The best of the practices have to flow to you as a knowledge input, and then you will implement it. So, in order to ensure the efficiency in implementation, efficiency in execution, I think the first field we have chosen is finance. As you know, everybody is worried about managing finance. Not only you are worried about it, your sponsors are also worried about finance management. The first question the sponsors would ask you is, how did you spend my money? Do you have proper accounts book? And you should know the vocabulary to talk to them in the right language. You may be doing the good thing, but if you do not present it well, that's not going to convince people. You should not only be good in intent and content, but you should also be good in presenting it to others. You should convince others. That interface is very important. Don't think my spirit is only very important, but it is the other spirit is also matters. Whoever is funding, that should is also there. They are, because they are responsible to their own sponsors. They are responsible to government. They are responsible to law-abiding organization. So the finance is one part where I feel, personally, my little experience with CSOs, let us admit, we are not very good. We think it's a clerk's job. Some accountant will take care of it. Because we have other pressing needs. We do not want to waste our time in ratio analysis. We do not want to waste our time in, let us say, bookkeeping or in preparing good, efficient income and expenditure statements. We do not want to waste our time in analysis of financial statements. That is not our. We have better things to do. But that is not the truth. You are the conduit, you are the pipeline. You are a medium, so you are accountable to others as well. So unless otherwise your finance is strong, your financial terminologies, your financial paradigm is good, your donors will not be very happy. It is our duty to make our donors happy. Unless otherwise we have a better financial systems. So the first step to convince donors is to ensure that you have a very good financial management system. So I think that is where we are going to start. And the next thing is to reinvent ourselves. To reinvent ourselves organizationally. To review whether we follow the right kind of strategies. Are we doing the right thing? திருவள்ளுவரோட கோட்டு தான் எனக்கு திருவள்ளுவரை தாண்டி மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் ஸ்கூலெல்லாம் என்ன சொல்லிக் கொடுக்க போகிறாங்கன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. I don't know what we are going to teach more than what Thiruvallur has taught us for 2000 years in management. Maybe we make it a little more sophisticated. Maybe we will make a little more elaborate, comprehensive. But the basic principles are very clearly laid down here. He says, தாளாண்மை இல்லாதான் வேளாண்மை, தாளாதான் இல்லாதான் வாளாண்மை, பேடிகை வாளாண்மை போல கெடும். சாரி, தாளாதான் தாளாதான் இல்லாதான் வேளாண்மை, பேடிகை வாளாண்மை போல கெடும். See, this is a 2000-year-old language. So that language has to be translated to today's language. If you give a sword into the hands of a person who is not skilled, it is of no use. It will be destructive. A sword is a very powerful weapon. Let us say AK-47 is a very powerful weapon. But unless otherwise you know how to use it, it will not defend you. It might even kill you. So skills matter, not the weapon. If we call all the CSOs, some of you may be ready, but let us say we will give you 1,000 crores of rupees to you and you will have to development. I'll be the first person running out of this room. Because I cannot manage 1,000 crores. I do not have the systems to manage 1,000 crores. Maybe 100 crores, yes, I can. At 10 crores, comfortable. At any day, we can do it. But 100 crores, 1,000 crores, such a 1,000 crores is an impossibility. Because I, as a CSO, is not capable of handling development project worth 1,000 crores immediately. I do not have the skills. So if you want to grow, then you will have to improve your skills. Then only you can absorb even resources. So not for you. For the society, you need to develop skills. Not for you, not for your growth. For the growth of the society, each CSO have to develop their skills. And they'll have to know what kind of strategies they are going to adapt. Are we adapting the right kind of strategies which are required for the society? What is the strategy that they'll be covering adequately? I don't have to go into it. But I am here to tell you, this is the capacity development program, which is going to focus on implementation effectiveness and design effectiveness, finance and strategy to start with. Then we will move on to each area. Now that is about this program. I'm sorry, my lecture is a little bit boring. I warned you in the beginning itself, but then it is my duty to explain what we are trying to do here. You have invested your time here, and we should respect that time. And we should try to make that time most effective, most meaningful, and most productive for both you and the society, and for the European, and for everyone concerned. And this should be one of the memorable programs. I do not know whether we will succeed, but we will make it as the most sincere program, most committed program. So the first thing is, when we talk about capacity development program, we talk about CSOs. And as Sundar has said, and I think Bindu has also said, the importance of civil society organizations. I don't have to stress much, because civil society organizations are dedicated organization for doing social justice. There is something which is basically, as societies move from slavery-based societies to, let us say, a society which consists of workers and capitalists, to modern societies which employ knowledge-based workers and multinational corporations, certain things have to change in the society. Things change and certain things do not change adequately. That creates some form of injustice, some form of social injustice within the society. Some people are left out. Some people are being exploited. Some people reap the benefits more than other people. So there needs to be certain kind of organization which needs to address these kind of social injustices done. So this is where CSOs come in. Civil society organizations come in order to provide social justice, in order to do a distributive justice to people. So I think, therefore, as a change agent, as a transformative champions, CSOs' roles are very, very important. So unless otherwise we have very good CSOs, we cannot ensure a more efficient society in the future. The reforms in the society will not have. The social reforms in the society will not happen. Unless the social reforms happen, unless things change, we will not be more productive. We will not become more futuristic. Therefore, as a future agent, CSOs are very important. They cannot be left to the lurch. They cannot be sort of ignored, because profit-making organizations have their own motive, internal motive. They make a lot of money, and money can be exchanged, and therefore they can grow. And government organizations and educational institutions, they have their own system of their own revenue share. But civil society organizations are basically entrepreneurial organizations. Most of the civil society organizations are entrepreneurial organizations. We don't have to teach entrepreneurship to you. You are an organization even though you do not accept the word entrepreneurship, you may not appreciate the word entrepreneurship. You are the organization who are meant for entrepreneurship and even innovation. You want to change the society. So therefore, I think I don't have to talk much about the importance of civil society organizations and why this program is very important to all of you. But I think there are many other things which need to be taught. One biggest thing I would like to stress here is women. As you know, injustices are done on birth. Because you are born in a certain way, because you are born in a certain community, because you are born in a rural area, because you are born in a certain caste, because you are born in a certain family, because you are born in some neighborhood, some injustices are cast upon you. But for women, the injustice is done before birth itself. The child is a girl child, is not even allowed to be born. The injustice predates the birth itself, only in the case of women. Because that is how our whole society has been. It is not the justice, it is a pre-birth injustice. If that is not changed, we'll have to understand. What I'm trying to say is, the injustice that is done to women in this modern world is very deeply ingrained. It is before the birth itself. In studies, in food, in decision making, in giving resources at hand. The injustices are so invisible that it is so spread out. And we expect women to deliver as good as man, but do double the work. We are expecting them to do all the work at home and equally compete men at office also. So this is the program which addresses that part of the story, the gender part of the story. So I think therefore, if we want to improve the society, if we want to turbocharge the society, if you want to do something for the society, you will have to liberate 50% of these people. You will have to empower 50% of the people. My daughter is today earning much more than me, but she has double the responsibility than I have. I'm not talking about childbirth. That childbirth is a natural injustice. But there are other responsibilities, other inequalities that is cast upon women, but they are called upon to deliver to the social change. And we cannot move like that. Unless otherwise we provide more playing field for women, more participation for women, we are not going to go there. We want to create a bright future where women can contribute. We'll have to change ourselves. We'll have to create more justice, more power, more resources at disposal for women. I always say that TrexStep is in the new business of startups for social justice. But here I am saying you startup for social justice for women is a very sweet startup. It's not only a startup, it is also a sweet startup. Because what is more rewarding than making a woman as an entrepreneur? A woman as an entrepreneur is a born success. You see a woman as a successful entrepreneur, everything is done. Because you put the resources into the hands of women. When the resources are in the hands of women, then what happens is that she is able to create a new society. She is able to demonstrate that she can create her own world. She is able to say that I am able to employ so many people, sustain so many jobs. So the best form of justice to women is to make them a successful entrepreneur. Because she is not depending on other power. She is dependent on her own idea, her own skills, and she has demonstrated that she can be successful against society as an entrepreneur. So I think this program on innovation and entrepreneurship, as well as for women, is a double win game for society. It's not win game. So it creates icons. Let us make one woman as successful entrepreneur. The message is very clear and sound. Lot of women around them, they get excited. They get the belief that they can manage this world better. They can employ people. They can create jobs. And it is also very flexi working. You can work at home. You can work at this thing. You can employ whomever you want. If you do not want, you can chuck out people. So I think innovation and entrepreneurship for women is not today's theme. This is going to be the theme for the future. Gender is going to be the theme for the future. For 50% of the society has to be transformed. So unless otherwise we use 50% of this society into a new paradigm, we are not going to have a new paradigm at all. So if world has to be changed, women have to be empowered. And that is already happening. But as CSOs, as bottom of the pyramid, that is not happening adequately. Today, women do not want to marry because they know that they want to be free. They want to rule the world, and they are ruling the world at the top end. But at the bottom of the pyramid, if they are enabled, that can bring many, many benefits to women as this thing. So this is why TrexStep has taken this project. When we entered, TrexStep has a great reputation. Bindu said 1986, I was in business incubation from 1989 September. 86, I was a student along with Professor Sundar. So 89, I came into this thing. From 89 onwards, it's a one-way ticket. Once you come into this kind of organizations, you cannot go back. So from 89 onwards, I was working in incubation. As I had the wonderful opportunity to work across countries, I also had a great reputation of the person who has made the largest number of mistakes in business incubation. So we have learned from our entrepreneurs, we have learned from our this thing. I'm sure that those experiences have enlightened us, those experiences has stayed in the organization as venture memories, and that could be shared. And I urge upon every civil society organizations to look at women and innovation entrepreneurship of women with new force, with a new resolve, so that this is a futuristic theme where each one of us can contribute. Each one of us can easily contribute in making women as entrepreneurs, and that will change the society much faster than what we expect. Because once women become entrepreneurs, they create a lot of jobs, they create icons of champions, they also create a lot of tax revenues, they bring in innovative products, they change the entire world. Therefore, I think innovation and entrepreneurship for women will be the best thing for the future, where every CSOs can and should participate and contribute, and that will be a very great change for the society. Thank you very much. I wish all of you enjoy this day and get benefited. Thank you.
The series of capacity development program for CSOs, series of capacity development programs will address every facet of capacity needs of CSOs in efficiently improving and scaling up their performance in better servicing the society. These programs will provide the trainee CSOs in-depth knowledge on how to develop an effective and well-managed organization that makes best use of its people as well as its financial resources to design, to deliver, and to develop programs, projects that create social impact, and while also ensuring its self-sustenance. We immensely thank our sponsor, the European Union, for this great opportunity in implementing this important, prestigious project. This program is part of our broader project supported by the European Union for Gender Enabling Network of Innovation and Entrepreneurship, Civil Society Organizations for Climate Ventures. We are very grateful to have with us our chief guest, chief host, Dr. R.B. Javahar sir, Executive Director, TruckStep. He is the chief architect of all development projects for TruckStep and is also steering all TruckStep members in their successful implementation. We thank you, sir, for being with us today and have your valuable time with us for delivering a very inspiring and thought-provoking address. Thank you very much, sir. We thank you, our mentor, Director of the Jnanam School of Business, Dr. Sundar. He is a well-wisher of TruckStep for nearly 20 years now. His continuous guidance and support in the design and implementation of this capacity development program is very important. We thank you, sir, for the presence and for the motivating address earlier today. We thank you, our AGM Bindu Balakrishnan, for his address, enlightening address. My vote of thanks would indeed be incomplete if I did not thank the participants who are all the real heroes here. Without all your enthusiastic participation, this initiative definitely would not have been realized. I immensely thank all the participants for your active participation and also for your continuous engagements with the TruckStep. I also take this opportunity to thank my fellow colleagues at TruckStep who are behind the scene for all their efforts to make this function a successful one. Thank you all once again. Thank you. Sir, I also thank the entire team of Jnanam School, the Mr. Tirumurugan, all the other people who are behind Mr. Sundar for making this function, for this inaugural function and this 2 days trip very successful one. Thank you, team. Thank you, sir.